Hi, we're here today. We're going to show you how to make one of the new children's activities for the Bowling Green International Festival. I'm Fran Jennings. You're just going to see my hands. I'm the chair of the children's activities this year for the festival. This is Emma. You'll see her at the next year. You'll see her at the gates. That's where she normally is. This is my daughter Emma. She helps a lot with the festival. And today, the first thing we're going to make is a Celtic brooch. These are some of the ones that we've made in the past. This was made by one of our board members' son, Nicholas. And his sister made this one. Her name's Olivia. So I believe Nicholas is 8 and she's 6. But as you can see, they're all different kinds of styles. I might have to do this the third time. And, you know, they're not exactly what a Celtic brooch was, but it's just a nice facsimile that we can make out of some stuff around our house. And it's a cool activity and you learn something from it. So here's Emma's going to show you some pictures of some other ones that you can find on Google. If you put in Celtic brooch, and Emma, like here's a different style. This is the brooch, and this part is actually called the tongue.
I'm going to be trying to do similar to this today.
And Emma wants to make this one today, or try to make one that looks like this today. So, some of the things that you need. You need some of these lids. These are 4-inch plastic lids, and it doesn't matter which one you choose because they will all work. It doesn't matter what color. The only thing that really matters is the shape. So, technically, if you wanted to make a bigger brooch, because when Celtic brooches first came to be, they were to hold fabric or clothes together, and then they became like just jewelry. So you could make a giant one if you wanted to, because they certainly did. But generally, this was about the size that they were.
And if you get Chinese takeout, you get some of these lids, which work for it. And if you're getting Chinese, it works because you also get chopsticks,
Which you also need to make the tongue. So when you get your chopstick home, make sure you wash it really good. Take a little bit of bleach or vinegar after you've washed it, your parents, and just kind of wipe it through there. It's to kill any bacteria or anything that might still be living on the bamboo. That's what these are made out of, is bamboo. And just put it away for your project. So,
adult supervision is required for most of this.
So some of the tools you're going to need are a box cutter, which is why mom or dad or teacher or uncle or older brother needs to be nearby, older sister. This is really sharp. That's why they're needed to be by. You need a good pair of scissors. These are bumblebee scissors or bumble cut scissors. I've had these for about 10 years and they're still super sharp, but that's why they looked all, yeah, these have been around and done a lot of hard artwork, but they're worth it. And you need this tool. And I wish I knew what this was called, but I don't remember. And this, you'll need this, and this is really sharp and can definitely hurt you. So you need adult supervision for this. Some of the supplies you're going to need are a marker of any color, doesn't matter. And this is called block ink. The brand name on this one is Speedball. Doesn't have to be, but you do need block ink. It's really thick. You don't need a whole lot for the project. So once you've done it, or if you're going to do this like your whole class or your whole group's going to do it, this is enough for everybody and then some, because it's very thick. It looks like this, and this is about the same amount that you would put on your toothbrush, and it's plenty to do this project about 10 to 15 times. You also need a product called Rub and Buff. Well, that's one way to make your tongue. This one is antique copper, but it does come in other colors. You can get this at any hobby store or Walmart or online or like Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Anybody like that's going to is going to carry this product. You need a paintbrush. It can have flat bristles or it can have soft. It doesn't matter. It just needs to be a little paintbrush because you're only going to put it on a very small surface. And here's some examples of the tongue. You need the sharp end. But don't throw this in. Don't throw this in away because we have another project another day for this one. I promise you. So don't throw this away. So you need the sharp end, and it starts like this, and it could end up looking like this. We made this one with a marker. Just used a marker to color it. This is the Rub and Buff. And Emma wants to do this one today, which is marker and gold leaf. And this is what gold leaf looks like. Comes in sheets like this. And gold leaf also, it also comes in different colors. So you could probably get it in silver, you could get it in bronze, but it looks like this.
Very thin.
Very, very thin. This came from Oriental Trading. So did the paper. But most of the
contact paper. That's another thing you need.
And you could use plain contact paper if you wanted to and just decorate that yourself if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. It is your brooch. But Emma wanted to do that brooch, so we're going to use gold today. And you need these stamps. You know, you could free draw on there if you want to, but I can't draw that fantastic. I bought these years ago in a set, and it comes from Chronic Books, and there's about 15 to 20 stamps in there. This set and others like it are available on Amazon. And these are rubber-based stamps, which means they're all rubber. Like this part is rubber, this is rubber, and this is rubber. But other stamps come with just the rubber stamp part on wood, and it doesn't matter how you decorate your brooch. It's your brooch. You can do it your way.
The only difference is how you clean it. Rubber, you can use soap and water. With wood, not so much. Have an adult wipe it with some alcohol.
Yeah, because if you take a wooden stamp with a rubber back on it underneath the water like you can these, after about 2 or 3 times, the stamp's going to come apart. So don't do it that way. And we've got a whole bunch of different kinds, different Celtic symbols. I think that's everything that you need. So the first thing you need to do is to cut your shape. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now I have a solid piece of plywood as a work surface.
Trash.
So, I mean, it doesn't matter if it gets dirty. I can cut on it, and it's a little rough, so I can also use it to smooth things. You need a good, solid work surface to do any of these projects because they do involve cutting, gluing, heat. So have something solid underneath where your work area is going to be. Okay, so now it just looks like this. It's just a piece of plastic from the top of a food container. And everybody has those.
So you can do it too.
Okay. So I'm using Fresh Food Market's loaded potato soup lid. What did she use? Myers ricotta cheese. It doesn't matter. They all work. Where's the Chinese one? Let's show them. This one is a little different because the edge is a little different. So you would use a different tool to get started. Always put that blade away. You just go around the edge. Got to be good scissors. Safety scissors won't work on this because they're not sharp enough. So again, have whatever adult is helping you do this part for you.
Get this out so you're cutting that.
Okay, use that. So see?
Have that ready.
See, they're both. And you can bend them to cut them to make them a little straighter. Just don't fold them, because once you fold them, there's going to be a crease in the plastic. You can even use your board to make your edges a little smooth, and like a big giant piece of sandpaper, but you don't have to do that. Okay, so get the debris out of your way. Now this is the contact paper. Most contact paper have marks on it, like this. See these marks? Makes it real easy. That way you don't really have to measure it out. You know you need a piece about by 4 by 4. So you estimate it. How many blocks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 blocks. You might need some help getting that contact paper apart. Now this you could definitely cut with safety scissors. Doesn't take anything to cut this stuff. But we found it was easier to go ahead and put the contact paper on the lid instead of trying to cut the contact paper around the shape that you picked. So it's easier to go ahead and put the contact paper on the lid and then cut the lid.
Get the bubbles out. Okay. And while she's attaching hers, I'll be cutting around here. You can kind of see the shape. I'm going to reference my picture for my shape. Do you need your thumb though? No, that's with the pecan.
Screenshot that. And you could use safety scissors to cut the excess around your shape. Because again, the contact paper is very thin. So you could cut that part. Your adult helper doesn't need to help you do that. You can do that. And the Celts use brooches because they didn't have buttons and they certainly didn't have zippers and they hadn't figured out what a frog was yet. And you're like, a frog? Frog is just like a wooden peg that they sewed onto fabric, and they took a length of like a loop of rope or twine or whatever they had and became like a button. Because you've probably seen those on coats, and it's just like a loop that goes around a peg, and that's called a frog. Why they called it that, don't know. That's for another day. We'll find out why. So Emma's tracing her shape onto her so she knows what to cut. And because she has to do the middle part, it's probably better to use the box cutter. You could probably use an X-Acto knife too. Brooches came in different styles. One of the basic ones was called a basket shape. There's a Latin word for that, and I don't remember exactly what that is. But it looked like a basket with the handle on it, kind of like this. So this part was thin, and this part was fat. And this is like half an egg shape. And that was one of the basic styles they came up with. That doesn't matter because that part's coming out. Always, don't leave this laying around like this. Always bring the blade back in. That's really important. That's just good safety protocol. And keep it out of your work area so nobody can get hurt. Kind of clean as you go. That helps keep your work area good.
This is a fun shape to try to cut. I'll just tell you that. You do it and I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, we only have one pair of bumblebees.
So is the green.
You just use the scissors to trim up your gold.
I know. Try and get all my shapes out first.
Okay, so that part of it's done. Now the next thing is that we're going to stamp it, or if you're going to hand decorate it, that's what you would do next.
I'll be starting with gems,
You need to stamp first.
but I'm going to put my middle one in there first.
Okay, well, Emma picked, these are little plastic gems that come with adhesives already on the back of it, but you could use those. Now these come in giant bulk. These were donated to us by Kendall Briley from a project she was doing that she got done with, and she had all these left over. But these require hot glue, and we're not going to do these today, but you could if you wanted to. The only reason why we don't use Elmer's or some other form of glue is the Elmer's doesn't adhere very well to the contact paper for some reason, kind of like the markers don't adhere to the contact paper very well.
I got my middle one on there. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Here's our picture again.
Is there a fourth one that looks like the little one?
I'm gonna check this out.
Aha. Do you want any of those? Okay. Now.
So here's our ink. Again, it doesn't take very much. Just barely have to get any on the brush. It doesn't take very much at all. So
Get your paper.
in order to get the lines, you do have to apply it a little heavy the first time around. Get it all the way around on the edges. But the first one you kind of block off, and then it's ready to go. And you press, put it where you want it. Push up, press, count to 3, bring it up neatly, and pooah! She's gonna do 3, she's doing 4 different stamps around the corners. You wouldn't even have to use black. You could use any color of block ink that you wanted. And it's not, again, it's not this kind of ink, because this is too thin. It's block ink.
One, two, three.
Oh, that one came out great. Look at that one, it's so sharp.
Yeah, it was even sharp on the block part.
And here's something that I didn't know in researching this project to do. I, like a lot of people, thought that the Celts were only in like England or the British Isles, period. Actually, the Celts were as far north as Sweden. They were as far east as Turkey. And they were as far south as Spain. They were the predominant culture in Europe until the Romans came about. And the Romans kind of slowly folded in all of the Celtic tribes. So a lot of the stuff that you see in different European cultures actually came from the Celts.
I'm going to put these on the edges. straight. That's okay. It's my pretend sapphire. What would pink be?
I don't know what pink would be.
But
It's yours, and if you want it to be rainbow, it can be. See, because remember Nicholas did this one. And Nicholas did diamond, emerald, sapphire. So, I guess that would be amethyst. And we thought that would be topaz. But pink, we don't know. Who knows? But it's yours, and you can decorate it any way you want. So, that part's done.
you can set it to the side, and now we get to start on this part.
Okay, so the first thing she needs to do, she needs to find a black magic marker. Oh, let's do this. Let's cut one. So it's been clean.
Adult supervision time.
Adult supervision time. Because this tool it's a little bit heavy for little hands, but this is definitely sharp, and it could definitely hurt you. So you want it about halfway, and all they have to do is cut it. And it does that. So this is going to be a little rough. And you can use sandpaper if you want to, but because I have a rough surface on my board, which was intentional, so I could do things like that. Just make it smooth, get the edges. Now it's smooth. So here's a black, and she's going to make a black magic marker. So you could take any one of these decorating methods that we've showed you to adapt to whatever kind of brooch you'd like to make. Okay,
Lids back on markers.
Needs to dry for just a bit. Meanwhile, you need that spray adhesive. Any spray adhesive will do. This is what we bought. It needs a good shake. There's some marble in there to help you get it. You're gonna make that thing clatter. Good 30 seconds. Make sure the nozzle's clean, always. When you get done with this part, you need to take the alcohol thing, an alcohol wipe or on a paper towel. We're talking about rubbing alcohol, about 70 to 70% kind, and clean off that nozzle so the debris doesn't make the nozzle malfunction for later uses. Okay, so.
But we're gonna pause and we're gonna spray it outside.
Okay. I would just put newspaper down.
All right, sprayed.
And paper towel. Gonna keep the nozzle clean. Really important. And just wipe it. And then put the lid back on.
Yeah.
Okay, so now she's gotten out her
Gold leaf.
gold leaf. Try not to touch it. Try to use a tool so the oil of your skin does affect it. Just lay it down in there. And you just need to roll it. Give it a little and I know I made that look easy, but it's a lot easier than you think it is once you do it. Okay, do stay on your work area because this stuff goes everywhere. Now you're just going to brush off the debris or the extra very lightly, not hard. I'm just going to keep repeating that process till you have the extra off of there. Then get a little bit harder. If you want it to look antique like the one that we had. No, that's too hard. Yeah, see it going everywhere? It will go everywhere. Okay, you can put that in the trash so it doesn't keep going everywhere. Okay, this one we're going to leave a lot of the gold on. The one I did, I took some of it off because I wanted to make it look old. And it's that simple. Let's see. Where's our scarf? Put it on the scarf. Right there. 2 o'clock. So this one would be an adornment. It wouldn't actually be functional. This is an adornment, not a functional Celtic brooch.